everybody, welcome to Vanessa's Daily Life. How are you guys doing today? Come on in and thumbs up the video if you are my friend. How are you guys doing today? So the other day I did a video on I married a monster. I actually got married at 16 years old. And so after I do a video, I want to do like a aftermath, afterthought of that video, to just share my thoughts, my perspective, and where I am today, and what I think about that particular video, or that particular situation now in my current state of mind. So as I shared with you guys in the previous video, I got married at the age of 16, which was too young. I was young, dumb, and so stupid. I wanted to make a video, you guys, on advice I would give to my younger self. So this is 40 years later. I got married when I was 16. My husband hit me on the first day that I got married. What advice would I give to my younger self now that I am 56 years old, 40 years later, when I was 16 years old? When I look at that little girl that got married when she was 16, deceived by an older man who she believed loved her, and he hit her on the first day that they got married. First of all, he manipulated her into fearing him, into being scared of other family members, and then turned around, and at that moment and at that time when my husband was forcing me to hug his brother, whom he had told me not to have any physical contact with, at that time he was exerting himself. This was not a marriage. A marriage is supposed to be between a man and a woman, and it's supposed to be equally yoked. Clearly, that's why he wanted to get married to a child, a minor, because he wanted to exert himself over me, have power and control over me, and manipulate me. No way on God's green earth would he have married a woman that was his own age, and he would have beat her and hit her on their first day of getting married. That wouldn't have been acceptable. I think he would have waited a little longer to do that. He wouldn't have been able to manipulate her like that and assert that type of power on her like that. If a woman would have been his own age and she would have hit him, he would have hit her on their wedding day, I think she would have been out the door. I didn't know any better. And that just goes to show you that I was young, dumb, and stupid. And the advice that I would give my younger self today, 40 years later: number one, getting married at the age of 16 was the biggest mistake that I ever made in my life. Number two, if a man hits you once, he's going to hit you twice, and he's going to hit you more times than not. And so I would have left that first day. I'm counting your loss. At that point, I hadn't slept with him. At that point, I hadn't gotten pregnant. At that point, I wouldn't have lost anything but the shame and embarrassment of I made a mistake. And what can you expect from a 16-year-old? I made a mistake at the age of 16, and it would have been more embarrassing for him than it would have been for me, but it would have been a life-saving decision had I walked out of that house crying with my feelings hurt. Then what would have come in the future? What would have come, what he had in store for me? Like, when somebody shows you themselves and show you something like that on the first day that you get married, they're showing you what they have in store for you. And if they don't have anything better in store for you than hitting you, beating you, and manipulating you on the first day that you get married, then you already know that you're in for a trick or a treat. And I was in for a trick. And I'm going to share that with you guys in future videos, more to come. But I would definitely tell my younger self, number one, you shouldn't have got married. Number two, you made a mistake. It's okay. You're young, dumb, and stupid. Number three, walk out that door. He hit you. Don't let people do something wrong to you that hurts you and then manipulate you into forgiving them, manipulate you in ignoring what they did to you, manipulate you into believing that they will never, ever, ever do it again. That was the beginning of the worst of the worst. And like I say, if somebody would do something like that on the first day that you get married, you already know that it's going to go downhill from here. So anybody out there, any young female that has been manipulated by an older guy, I don't care if it's 2 years older than you, 5 years older than you, 10 years older than you, or 12 years older than you. Read the signs. Ask yourself why. Why is he interested in me? Why does he want to be with me? And another thing, your education, you may think you're in love, but if you're in love, love can wait. What's the big rush? Finish school, get your education, find out who you are as a person, what your hopes and dreams are. What do you want to do with your life? Do you want to just get married as soon as you get through with school and have kids? Or do you want to go off and explore the world, work in the workplace, see what it's like to live life? What's the point in leaving your parents' house, and as soon as you leave your parents' house, you're getting married and you're having kids, and you never got a chance to discover life, enjoy life? So my suggestion to my younger self would be not to get married at the age of 16, not to start having kids at the age of 16, not to become a caregiver, which is basically what I was doing at the age of 16, and I'll get to that in another story. And like I said, sometimes the devil that you know is better than the devil that you don't know. Even though I was being abused at home by my mother, even though I was taking care of my mother's children and I was still a caregiver, even though I wasn't happy at home with my mother, the situation that I put myself into by getting married at the age of 16 was from bad to worse. Sometimes I only had 2 more years. Actually, it would have been 3 more years for me because my mama put me back a year in school. So it would have been 3 more years before I graduated from school. So I only had 3 more years to tolerate the abuse in my mother's house and eventually be out on my own and be able to go to college. I wanted to go to the service, which I found out later that I could not go to the military because of my eye, but I did want to go to the military. But I mean, it would have been plenty of other options for me without a child involved, without having been married, without domestic violence, without having to run and flee from a husband, worrying about him having to hurt you. So that's the advice that I would give to my younger self. I would tell myself to, instead of looking for love in someone else, to find that inner strength within, to make it through what you're going through. Encourage yourself, motivate yourself, and love yourself no matter what. And do not put yourself in a situation where you're looking for love and you end up marrying a monster. So anyway, you guys, this is just a little quick video. Leave your thoughts in the comments bar below. I will be making future videos going into more detail about me marrying a monster. And as you can see, 40 years later, I'm still here. I'm still standing. I survived. And, you know, I lived another day to tell the story. And I hope this story does help some other person out there who has gone through this or who is going through this. If you are young and you're considering getting married at a young age, I ask you to please reconsider. I ask you to finish school, put yourself first, get your education. Yes, the situation in your home may be bad, but you know, if it's too bad where you need to contact the authorities, then contact the authorities. If it's too bad where you need to reach out to a family member and ask a family member, can you come stay with them, then go stay with the family member. But running from your current situation, thinking that another situation is better than the other situation, you haven't lived life enough to evaluate the situation to see if that situation is going to be a better situation than what you're currently in. There were so many red flags that had I been my older self giving myself advice, there were so many red flags that I would have definitely told myself, do not marry this man. You're making a mistake. He's not the Christian man that he claims to be. He doesn't love you like he say he does, and he's not gonna make a good father, and yeah, don't marry him. So anywho, that's gonna be it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments in the comment bar below, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye now.